Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. In today's lesson for Excel, Microsoft Excel, we will be looking at how to create a payroll system. Take in consideration the example that you see currently. The system will be collecting or dealing with different sets of values, namely content, employee name, hours worked, rate per hour, and finally net salary. Let me explain the different types of information we are collecting. Starting in A, count. Count will be responsible for listing from 1 to however many amount of people in our system reflect. If we have 20 employees, then under count you should see 1 until 20. Employee name column, that's where we capture the names of the different employees in our company. Hours worked. For hours worked, we are focusing on capturing total amount of hours worked per week by the employee. And the rate per hour section is where we want to collect the amount being paid to a specific worker for the set of hours worked in that week. And net salaries is a section where automatically, after entering the hours worked for a particular employee, you will take the hours worked and multiply it with the rate per hour, and it will automatically give us the net salary. We are not going to enter values directly into this section, net salary, but the amount will be automatically computed for us. Once the amounts have been calculated appropriately, what's left for us to do is to take the net salary and make a total salaries paid section at the bottom. Total salaries paid will act as a container for all the salaries being paid to the employees. So this will be a total amount that HR or the company has paid out in a particular week. Okay, the question starts now. How do I create such a system? Well, it is simple. First things first, you need to create a new workbook, we call it. So let's go to File, New, Blank Document, and you'll notice it creates a blank sheet 1. This is a good start. I advise, before you even continue even further, to save this workbook in a folder somewhere. How do we do that? You go to File, Save As. We need to find a location to save in. Always find a location where you want to save your newly created book. I would like to save inside my Microsoft Excel training folder. And once in there, I can give my workbook a name. I would like to call this pay. I will call, since I have a payroll system book, I will call this one HR department system. This book I'll use to keep all my different sheets, payroll, employees hired, blah 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 blah. It is endless. Now save. Okay, now that our sheet has been saved, we can start doing our work. First select A1, so we type payroll system. You will notice that it overflows to column B. To solve this issue, you need to resize the column A1. How we do that? You go where you see sections A, B, C, D, and you look at A. Between A and B, there is a borderline. You put your mouse cursor there. Let's first select A. If you put your mouse cursor between the borderline, between A and B, there's a borderline. If you put your mouse cursor there, it changes. By double clicking that area, you will auto resize your cell. So, and you'll notice payroll now fits nicely in between the column A1. This payroll system that I just typed in A1 should act as a title of our system. And so I wanted to cover a space from A until F. So to do that, I have to highlight everything from A1 until F1. So I want to make sure that payroll system actually uses all the columns from A to F. I have to merge the cells. How do I merge these cells? The question might arise. Alright, you need to go under the home tab. Under the home tab, you'll find different groups: clipboard, font, alignment, as well as number, styles, cells, and editing. The one you want to be under is alignment. Under alignment, you'll notice there's a few icons in there. The one we care about is called the merge and center icon. If you click on that arrow next to that icon, you will see some options. We want to merge and center the words payroll. So let's click on that, and you'll notice payroll moved from A, and now it's in the middle from A to F. It is occupying everything in there. That is step number 1. Step number 2 is to increase the size for payroll. The font size is very small, so let us increase the size. How do we do that? Font area and increase the size. Now we need to make it a bit bigger in size. 36. It's nice and big. It stands out. We want people to notice it every time they come to our payroll system or our HR department system, sheet 1, which is the payroll system. Now that we know that it's payroll system, remember to save. Always save. File, save. Always save. Now, to make this payroll stand out, we would like to add what we call a fill to this cell, which is will be created. We want to create a fill color. Perhaps you want to add a green color in the background. Where do you go? You have to be in the home tab. Then you go under the group font. You'll see a nice bucket there. If you put your mouse over, it says fill color. That's what we want. So if you choose, you click on the arrow, you notice there are some colors that you can change. You can see just playing around, and then I'll choose the green color. I can also change the color of the text if I wanted to. Font color, make it maybe darker, lighter, depending on what I want to do. I can choose any color that I choose, and I believe I'll go for, let me see, maroon. I'll take maroon. Right, now that I have payroll system, the heading payroll system in the first row, I can now move to the second row. What do we want to insert in the second row? I believe we have 5 columns. Let me check my previous example. There, alright, let's say I have count, employee name, housework, rate per hour, skip 1 column, and then net salary. Okay, let's do that. A2 should be count. B2 should be employee name. Overflows, simply resize. Click on B. Click on order, double click. To auto resize. Next one is hours worked. You have to do the same thing as well. So click increase the size. And then second, fourth, rate per hour. Also, it has to increase the size. We'll skip E and move to F2, which now becomes net salary. Let's make sure it fits nicely. Right. We need to make sure this row 2 looks like, I guess, headings of different sections that we want to collect information from. So the best thing to do that is to make it bold first of all and increase the size up to 16. You can clearly see immediately when I do that, it increases the font, but it is not seen. Okay, I also want to set a fill like gray, just make it stand out from the rest of the text like that. And then for me to increase the size of the cells, let me just go to format, auto fit column, and then you notice it auto fits everything that was highlighted. I'm one step closer. Again, I notice that column for count, employee, hours, rate per hour, and net salary do not show any divisions among them, like a border. So what I'll do is simply highlight like that and say rate per hour, and want to insert a border. Where do I go? I'll have to go to format again and format cells. So pop up the window, format cells. Then I have to find a section that is border. The border I'm looking for or interested in is the one that is separating in between the different sections. So I will use the presets inside You'll notice it gives me a border there. Secondly, I need to choose a line style. I choose that thick one line. Then I go to choose a color, preferably different from the one being used to fill. So I make it white so it stands out, and then I'll just put there again. But unfortunately, white is not seen. So let's use maybe that. Let's choose inside, and you notice it is visible. If I say okay and click anywhere, then I will notice you see the different intersections which shows separation. Okay, if you want to take it further, you can also create a border around this whole information. Go back the same route, borders, and then put in an outline as well. And say okay. And you notice it creates a border as well as an intersection within those borders. Let's see if we can increase these things. Okay, it's good to have spaces among your columns so that the information is also separated. Nice. You'll notice as I increase the sizes, it leaves spaces on each column. How do I make sure that these words, count, employee name, hours worked, as well as rate per hour, are on the center of the cell or the column? Okay, first highlight, then you need to find where it says alignment under the home tab. You'll notice there are two rows under that. Let's go to the top one. You notice there are options for top align, middle align, and bottom align. There's also options for align text left, line text center, as well as the right. We want to make sure we are aligning middle and we are aligning center. Why do I say middle and center? You'll notice if I try to increase the row height, the headings as well move to the middle of that column. They don't start directly at the top. But if you say top, you notice it goes to the top. If you say middle, it goes to the middle. If you say bottom, it starts at the bottom. We don't want it to start at the bottom, we want it to start at the middle. Okay, seeing that we made a lot of changes, why not save? Let us save. File, save. Okay, I also want to do the same thing that I did with my account, employee name, hours worked, rate per hour to my net salary. So I click first, then I align middle and I align center. Let's try and give it a unique style. Where is that style? Okay, I have to give it a border, right? Boom. Okay. Then I choose thick, I choose outline, I choose a color which will look different from the others. Oh, let's keep it the same. Why not? It didn't change the color. Alright, I know why. Format cells, you need to select auto, get the color you want, and then go to the presets and say outline, and you notice it changes the color in there. So if you don't see a color changing there, then you know you haven't made the selection for the changes you currently made. So make sure you always come there, then select, then okay, and you'll notice now it has changed. So now we're on the right track. Let us save our changes. Now let's see what is the first values there. I see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 individuals. Okay, that we have to add under a payroll system. So I'll go back and I'll click in there. Because we are starting at A3, I will type the 1. Okay. If I were to continue typing, it will take me, if I'm fast enough with my typing, let me see, it takes time to move around this thing. So I don't want to do a whole lot of typing. I want a shortcut to make sure if I start at 1 and continue down, it will start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, blah 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 till 10. So let's try that. It's called an autofill. How to find it? Just by putting your mouse over that corner, clicking and hold and drag to your desired location. And when you leave your mouse, you'll notice it says 1111111. That's not what I want. I want it to reflect 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So I have to go on this icon, which is the autofill options, and click. Currently it says copy cells. I want it to be fill series. Let's do that. And you notice the values also change to my desired formatting, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Since we are done with that, we can now start typing the employee names. I prefer you typing your own words, but if you lack inspiration, you can follow mine. So I'll say Henry is number 1, and number 2 is Helen. Number 3, Jack. Number 4 will be Kim. 5, George. 'Lindy'. 'Henry' with an A. 'John'. 'Lavelle'. 'Kunzile'. And last but not least, 'Nell'. Right, we have 11 employees under our payroll system, and each employee must have worked. So Henry has worked for, let's see, the whole week. He was working for 5 hours. Helen worked for 35. Jack worked all 8 hours for 5 days. He worked 40. King did the same. George 25. Lindy worked for 12 hours. Henry worked 34 hours. John worked 12 hours as well. And Lorraine 37 hours. Pumzile worked the whole yard. And Nero only worked 7 hours. Right, now comes Henry. How much does Henry earn? Okay, let's correct Henry then. Okay. Question is, how much does Henry earn per hour? And I believe from Henry to King, they are all earning same amount, which is what is it? 85, right? But you notice this 85, it doesn't have a symbol in front of it. There's a way of handling that. And to go to and handle that, we need to click on that cell which we're working on, go to the home tab, then find a section called number, and then go to general. So it says general, it says number format. This is what we want. We want a specific number format, which is currency. And if you click on that, you notice it now has an R on it for 80 rands. Okay, let's see. Now I want Henry, Helen, Jack, and King to have the same amount of rate per hour. So to do that, I have to autofill. Simple. Let's go to the bottom right corner of that cell. The square, and you see it turns to a plus. Just click and drag until King. You leave it, and you notice all for 85. George is special. He is earning 150. Lindy is also special. She's earning 120. Henry, same as the others, earning 85 rand. John is the same, Lorraine is the same. Okay, so you autofill. There you go. Very quick. Pupil is very, very special. She's earning 235. Manikas is the top of the class, earning 600 rands per hour. Wow. Okay, now that we have everything under guess where we need them to be, we need to perform a specific calculation. We need to know that Henry, who has worked for 25 hours and is earning 85 rand, has to have a salary increase. The question is, how much is that salary? You don't know mathematics, okay, you might know it, but sometimes the numbers are so big you can't compute it in your mind in the calculator. Well, Excel has made it easy for us. It's made a formula bar for us to work on. So let's go to the formula bar. I know there's a formula for calculating the net salary from the hours and the rate. It's called multiplication. So I'll just say equals 2. Then ask myself, what do I want this F3 to equal to? I want to equal to the hours worked times the rate per hour. And you notice changes there and it changes there as well. So we have C3, D3 being times together, and whatever is coming there will be the value for F3. Let's click somewhere on the blank space and you notice it takes effect immediately. Seeing that this formula says it's 2,125, I want to test whether it's working. So I would change the hours worked for Henry to 5 and see if I click somewhere and it works perfectly. So I'll change it back to 25. So now that I trust the formula that I created in F3, I can share this formula with the other parts of my worksheet. To do that is the autofill. So you click there and you drag, and there you go. Everything has its special price. To make it stand out from the rest, we can make it, give it a nice shading of gray. You'll notice it stands out. Everybody will see it anytime. want to. Right, we are halfway there. File, save. Almost, actually, we are almost at the end. The last thing left for us to do is to actually calculate all these values and give ourselves a total. And the question is, how do you create such an equation? Okay, first thing is we need to label what we want to do. So I'm just going to write there total salaries paid and increase the size. I want to give it a nice formatting, so I'll just go to styles. Under the home tab, styles, you see cell styles, and then give us options for title. It also gives us a section for total. I like this one for total, so I click on total. You will notice it creates nice borderlines below those results. I can increase the size of this section and maybe see perhaps 60, so it stands out, and I can increase the size as well. Okay, because I want this to stand out, I want to have a field on the back of it, and I'll make it really brown. And that one will be black. The color inside will be white. Okay. The question you might be asking is, how do I make sure that all those values are added together to give me a total salary paid? Okay, quickest way is to use a formula. Where do we go? Formulas tab. There are built-in functions in Excel that you can use. It's found in the function library. You need to be going at auto sum. There are other options under auto sum. It says sum, average, count, next name. All we care about is the total, meaning the sum. So you select sum. And you'll notice once you click on that, it creates a formula for you. That formula is the one that is responsible for the total. But let me explain the formula first. It is equals to sum, and then it says F3 colon F13. What does that mean? Okay. F3 says I'm going to start checking the values from a column F3, and I'm going to stop checking from F13. That is that symbol. The column says it's a range between 1 to whichever amount of values that you have, or the last column in that line of values, which is F13. Now that we have that, we can click somewhere in our documents, and you'll notice it creates a nice total for us. Okay, test this thing out. We can add a value, and for that, let me show you how to wrap the text. As I see, it's too big and it stretches, so let me text wrap. How to text wrap? I go to home tab, and I go under align group. You see an icon for text wrap in the first row at the top. Click on that and reduce the size. So you'll notice it hides a bit. Now I see only paid. There's a way to work around that, and it's called increasing the height. Now you see total salaries paid, or starting with total salaries and at the bottom paid. You can also align this text. Right now it's aligned bottom. We can align it to be in the middle and also center. You can also do the same. You can align it in the middle. So it looks nice and pleasant. Then if I say, my question is, okay, let's test out. How sure are you that when I increase the number of records, it won't affect the net salary column as well as the total salary section? Okay, let's try and add a new row. Right click and insert. You will notice there's a new row created for you. Let's start there. Then I'll say 12. The guy is Bob. He's working for 24 hours and he's earning 45 rands. You'll notice when I do those changes in there and click on the empty square, it automatically sets a column for me. Same with this total salary, it automatically increases the value as well. Let's see if I'm not lying to you. Let me change it back to 5. Boom. And you notice now it's 120 and the total salary also decreased. Then I am sure our payroll system is good working order. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to check out or subscribe to our YouTube channel. Fire Fresh. See you in the next tutorial.